Hey guys, this is Inverse, and this is game 2 of the quarterfinal series between sztefenfu. I just stubbed my toe. That really hurt. Oh my goodness. sztefenfu. This game he will be starting on the north of Angoville as the British faction. First Brit game I've casted on my channel, I believe. And in the south we have vCoH, the loser, sorry. My goodness, mixing everything up. The loser of our previous game, looking to take this quarterfinal match to a game 3, playing as the newly reinvigorated Panzer Elite. It'll be interesting to see what kind of strategies the... Whoa, why is he... Huh. Okay, that was actually kind of awesome, and I have never seen that before. I'm sorry, I just kind of brain farted right there. What sztefenfu did right here, for those of you not really familiar with the British faction's mechanics, your base buildings are essentially trucks that you can move around. They act as free observation posts, and it is a very common tactic to cap a munitions point, usually because Brits need munitions a lot. They're like the Wehrmacht in that sense. You cap a munitions point early, and then you send your truck there right away. That means you can't really get cut off. You also build a lieutenant before you move the truck, and the reason you build the lieutenant is because lieutenants don't gain speed penalties when moving in enemy territory, whereas every other British infantry section except for the recon section does, unless they have a lieutenant with them. And what vCoH did instead was he built the lieutenant, and then he immediately unpacked his command center and then retreated the lieutenant. And what that causes the lieutenant to do is retreat to the point where the trucks spawn from. And on Angoville, the trucks spawn right here. So what the lieutenant did was he retreated instead of walking, which is far quicker. I think it's 1.5 times speed. He retreated to this point, and that means he's right beside these two resource points. That lets him cap these 2 points extremely quickly. Then he's going to retreat, regroup with the Tommy squad that just was produced, and this means he now has 3 squads all moving at full speed. He is going to be able to harass far more effectively. vCoH, of course, prepared for that, does toss a Panzer Grenadier in this building right here. I'm actually not too familiar personally with the British versus Panzer Elite sort of metagame and style. I've never played it myself, being a player who plays primarily vanilla factions, being Wehrmacht and Americans. So I know a lot about those matchups. I know a lot about Panzer Elite against Americans and British against Wehrmacht. However, not so much about PE against Brits. So this is actually going to be kind of interesting, kind of a learning experience for me as well. I think he is upgrading this to a forward HQ. Ooh. He cancels it at... Oh my goodness. Oh, that sucks. He accidentally cancels the forward HQ upgrade at the very last second before it's about to be completed, so he's going to have to rebuild that. Of course, doesn't waste him any munitions, but does waste him time, which is fairly annoying. I'm curious to see what vCoH decides to go for. British can pretty much do the same strategies they've always been doing. I mean, the Stewart is a little bit better now. So you see people going earlier Stewarts a little bit more, whereas in retail right now, Stewarts are absolutely useless. That is the forward HQ. And Cromwells also are a lot more powerful because the pack has been nerfed considerably, and commandos can still drop on the packs anyways. Forward HQs, for people who aren't too familiar with the Panzer Elite faction, I know a lot of people on my channel watch it, coming from Company Affairs Online, which is of course shutting down. Yeah, the Panzer Elite forward HQ, once you upgrade defensive operations back at home, which is the sector-wide triage center essentially, as long as you're in your HQ sector, you will receive healing. The forward HQ has I think it's a radius. It might actually just be the entire sector that it's in. you get healing from. I'm not actually sure. We'll see when defensive operations does upgrade, which is coming right now. vCoH also going tier 2, and I've been seeing this a lot in the beta games I've been playing. A lot of PE players liking to go tier 2 a lot more than they normally would in retail right now. In retail, the kind of mainstay Panzer Elite strategies are going for a fast armored car, which is tier 3, and you can get that out pretty fast if you control one fuel. That's why it's so important to harass fuels as an American player. Good job also by vCoH, pushing them back, and look at this, lots of healing going on right around the forward HQ. This is going to be very difficult for sztefenfu to break. The roles have kind of been, actually no, this is kind of playing out like a mirror of the last game with two different factions. I mean, in this sense, sztefenfu just going to hang out on the left-hand side, going to be able to cap most of the left-hand side and keep it for a good deal of time. vCoH, on the other hand, content to stand around on the right-hand side, laying a teller mine. So this is very interesting that he's going tier 2, but also getting tellers. Tellers do a whack of damage to tanks, but only do damage to tanks. They don't explode over infantry. Of course, this little trick you can do if you go tier 1 and get teller mines is throwing AT grenades. If you throw an AT grenade at the teller mine, it'll explode. And if your opponent has infantry on the teller mine, it will do a ridiculous amount of damage to it. So that is always a fun trick. I don't think we probably won't see it here, considering how vCoH went tier 2. And the reason people don't really go tier 2 in retail right now is because, first of all, people normally go tier 3 and then tier 4, and the tier 1 building, it's usually, or the initial tier building, because you need to build tier 1 or tier 2, and then you can build to tier 3 or tier 4. vCoH's going to actually try to advance right here, and it's going to be interesting. He has more than enough forces, but I think he's just going to back out, heal up at his base right here, and reinforce. Yep, there we go. But people normally go tier 3 for armored cars, try to get an armored car out as quickly as possible, and then go tier 4 because, at least against Americans, the anti-tank half-track is absolutely vital. It slows down M8s. The AT half-track actually has a longer range than the M8, and it can shoot longer than the M8 can see. So if you tread brake, and then, he's going to retreat, so he's probably going to build a tech structure. We're going to have to see what he's going to build from there. With the M8, that is, the tread brake ability means you can back up a little bit with your AT half-track and still hit the M8, and the M8's not going to hit you. So that's always a benefit. I mean, it's very, very risky sending M8s out unsupported. You want an M8 and an AT gun. Tier 2 followed up by tier 1. So that's strange. Probably going to get increased squad sizes. AT grenades are fairly good. They're good against British emplacements, of course. sztefenfu's a good player. He's not going to build too many emplacements. Emplacements not really good against Panzer Elite anyways. I'm not sure if the Bofors might be decent just because PE relies so much on its light vehicles. However, everything else is kind of not really all that good. 1 Shrek squad, 2 Shrek squads. Shreks did get a buff in the retail beta. They're fairly terrible in retail right now. They can't really hit M8s. They can't really hit Stuarts. Also, another little balance between Brits and Panzer Elite is, trench going up. Good choice, just to keep himself protected. But the Stuart, for some weird reason in retail right now, has ridiculous damage modifiers against all PE vehicles. It does something like, it's either 1.5 or 2 times damage to most PE vehicles. There's a Stuart. Yay, Stuart. Woo, Stuart. And that was changed to put it more in line with the M8. So the Stuart now kind of fills the role of the M8 against Panzer Elite, and instead of having mines and all that stuff, it has the canister shot, which is fairly good against Panzer Elite. I mean, if you catch your opponent blobbing, pop a canister shot and boom. Lots of trouble. Interesting. However, I'm curious to see how vCoH holds this off. I mean, unless sztefenfu really messes up, I don't really think vCoH can do too much right here. I mean, decent positioning right now. Oh, there's a canister shot. Actually, it doesn't kill a squad. That's too bad. Almost kills this. Vet 1 squad. He's going to back up to the forward HQ to be reinforced. However, Shrek squad going to want to get out of the building. Probably not going to retreat, just going to walk back to the forward HQ. One of the big benefits of having a forward HQ is you don't have to retreat all the time. You can just walk back up, repair, heal. You have a good, strong place to fight around. sztefenfu also trying to harass, but he's kind of been pushed off. The right-hand side is capping up here with a recon section. And recon sections cannot make trenches anymore, which is a strange change that I didn't think was being made, but someone at Relic obviously disagreed with me and was like, hey, we'll change it anyways. Ketten just chilling on the left, going to ninja cap that VP. Incendiary grenades have been upgraded. Incendiary grenades, ridiculous. I don't know if it was changed. I can't remember. They have a ridiculous cooldown in retail right now. It's some insanely high number. It's just absolutely insane. But they're going to help immensely against these trenches. He's probably going to throw one right now. Be surprised if he doesn't. Also going to hop in this building. No, doesn't get in the building. Yep, there's the one incendiary. Cancel the trench. No, he's going to stay in there. There we go. Cancels the trench. If you double tap delete when you're inside a trench, your units will pop out. Pop out of it, and the trench will be removed. This is important because you don't really want an opponent in a trench. A Panzer Elite player, even an American player in a trench is kind of, whoa, canister shot. Dang, that did a lot of damage. These two squads are going to have to retreat. Yep. Because, oh, Stuart, don't die, Stuart. The trenches are extremely difficult for the British to remove. I mean, Brits don't have flamers. They don't really have a sniper. I mean, snipers aren't really effective against trenches anyways. They just don't really have that much to fight. Ooh, tier 3 coming out for the Brits. Not really rallying it. That's interesting. Oh, he probably... that's what happens. He was trying... When you build a British truck... Is he not going to move it? He doesn't even notice. When you build a British truck, you have to set a location for it to stop and park. And... Oh, now it's moving. If you set the point where you want it to stop and park, which was obviously this sector, because this is the obvious sector for it to be in, being a +16, the truck will go and stop and park there unless the point gets decapped in the meantime, in which case it'll just kind of chill over here, which is what happened. And sztefenfu caught it, which isn't surprising. He was on top of his stuff. 4-man squads upgraded from tier 1. That is a good choice. 4-man squads. Good against Americans when you want to keep up with bar tech. Also good against Brits just because Tommy sections are so powerful. Panzer Jaeger Command. This is tier 3, if my memory serves me correctly. Another teller. Interesting place considering how expensive they are. I'd like to see one right around here. I don't think sztefenfu has any sappers. No, he does have a sapper squad, but it doesn't have the demolitions upgrade, I believe it is, that gives it minesweepers. And this PG squad's going to have to run away. He's getting hosed by everybody. He's actually going to run, yes, and not going to retreat. Probably just going to back up to the forward HQ like before. Hetzers. So, of course, we did know tank destroyers was in play for the Panzer Elite player, known from the tellers, of course. Whoa. Oh my goodness, a single canister shot kills an entire... Oh man, an entire Shrek Grand squad. Does he have... No, he doesn't have any squads that don't have upgrades, so it'll be interesting to see if he decides to pick that up again, or if he's just going to build another squad to pick it up. The good use of incendiary grenades by Kot. He is also getting offensive veterancy, which is interesting. Against Americans in the current retail patch, PE players really want defensive vet, especially if they go something like MP44s, just because strafe absolutely destroys Panzer Elite. I mean, it does less so in company of heroes in the retail beta, just because of the various normalizations that the amazing human being that is Colaris devised and had implemented in the recent beta, which was extremely awesome of him. Everyone go give Colaris a big e-hug because he's totally rad. Staghound on the field. On the left-hand side, no Ruse yet. Maybe we'll see Ruse. I highly doubt it. They got nerfed into oblivion, and good players don't really use them because they're ridiculously lame and stupid, and yeah, just don't use them. Caught, once again, chilling on the right-hand side. sztefenfu chilling on the left-hand side. Kind of like last game. Nice and slightly dull. He's building a martyr, so that's interesting. Not going armored cars. Probably a good idea. Armored cars, decent against Brits. However, you have to be careful for Button, and these two vehicles, along with maybe a Piat or two, is absolutely going to destroy a martyr before it does a single thing. This Shrek's still on the ground. Build a PG and upgrade it. No. Oh, look at that. Tellermine immobilizes the Stewart, drops it down to perhaps a quarter health. The Kettenkrad's going to want to run away, run. Ketten, run. Ketten, no. Throw, he's probably going to throw a incendiary grenade. Incendiary grenade's great against, yay, Martyr. Kills the Stewart, run away, Staghound's in a lot of trouble. The incendiary grenades, excellent for the, oh man. Yeah, the Staghound's not going to do much. I mean, he's probably going to be able to circle around this martyr and do some decent damage, but he's just going to get hosed by the Shreks. If he kills this martyr, that would be very impressive. And, oh wow. Piat, must have been the Piat. I think the Piat does, yep, Piat gets the kill on there. The Staghound probably not going to get out of there. However, if he gets extremely lucky, oh, that was funny. Shrek squad hits at the exact moment that the Staghound hits the dum-de-dum Tellermine. There we go. Another Staghound on the field. Hetzers haven't been built. One armored car on the field. I miss my awesome armored car skin. That's the one bad thing about the beta. You don't have your rad retail skins. I love my skins. sztefenfu finally pushing out on the right-hand side. Showing a little bit of aggression, which is very nice to see considering these two players seem to share extremely passive playstyles. Crazy Shrek shot right there, really showing the Shrek buff and the utility of Shreks at this point in the game right now. More tellers going down, lots of munitions for Cot, so he's going to be spamming tellers as much as possible. I really wish I knew more about this matchup so I could suggest things for the Panzer Elite player to do. But honestly, I'm kind of learning along with you guys this game. I'm curious to see Double Shreks, which is an upgrade from the Tank Hunters. I always forget if it's Tank Hunters or Tank Destroyer. I think it's Tank Destroyer Doctrine. That's, you get double, like, AT efforts, I believe it's called. You get 2 Shreks. Automatically, you get your squads throw 2 AT grenades when you use the AT grenade ability. AT grenades also did get overhauled. I don't think we'll see in this game, but they did get changed up quite a bit. Kind of interesting. I'm not sure exactly. I haven't seen them in action in the beta yet, but I do know they haven't changed. Kettenkrad alive for a ridiculously long amount of time. Just been harassing on the left-hand side. Cot really wants his VP back. He really wants to win through a fairly quick VP victory just by holding the right-hand side. Definitely possible. Cot just built something. Built a mortar half-track. Mortar half-tracks, absolutely astonishing units. Extremely difficult to use, however, because they are so fragile. An American AT gun takes about 2 shots to kill a mortar half-track. However, they do not have to set up, of course. They're on wheels, which is definitely a big advantage. So they're a bit less vulnerable to small arms fire than, oh my goodness, lots of Shrek. They're not really as vulnerable to small arms fire as say a regular mortar. Oh, another teller. Wow, that teller only did half health damage. That's very interesting. I figured, I mean, when a teller pretty much one-shots an M8, you'd think they'd do more than half health to a Staghound. Staghound number 3 on the field, so it looks like it's going to be Staghound spam commando arty. I think that was commando arty. Yep, Commando already on the field, so we've got Commandos. No surprise there. Commandos probably the strongest of the British companies, regiments. I think they're regiments. Not really anything else that's very useful of the British regiments. I mean, you do have artillery, but artillery is, of course, not very good against Panzer Elite because they're extremely mobile, and isn't really good in general because you don't really want to be camping and wasting all your munitions on artillery because a good player, oh, excuse me, no, the kitten dies, oh no, but you don't really want to be spending all your munitions and your resources on artillery just because artillery, oh man, another Staghound is dead. Artillery is fairly easy for a good player to counter. It's easy to dodge. If they send some Shreks in, for example, you are completely screwed, and you're going to lose that artillery. The artillery, even the British artillery, takes a ton of damage. Mortar half-track going to want to get out of there. Staghound going to try to come in and see what it can do. Good micro by vCoH, keeping his units back. Going to damage the engine, and man, oh man, laser-guided Shreks. Kind of shows you what you can and can't do with light vehicles anymore in the beta against Panzer Elite. I mean, look at this. Long range, constantly hitting, not really missing very much. I'll actually have to go back and check the numbers of Shreks against Staghounds, but those things seem ridiculously accurate. This Shrek also on the field for probably a good 10 minutes right now. Hasn't built another PG squad to pick it up, which is kind of unfortunate. Oh, and yeah, PNs. Along with, oh, is that fake already? That fake. No, real already. Oh my goodness, run away, run. More commando already coming down on that building. Maybe gonna take it out. Nah, it's no, it does kill the building. So, probably a good thing for sztefenfu. I mean, he had been relying on this shot blocking object, which is of course still, oh, Shrek snipes the vetted lieutenant. That is one of the inherent design problems with the British, the fact that your entire veterancy is contained in one extremely weak unit. Incendiary round going off in the middle from the mortar half-track. How many kills does he have? 3 kills and a light vehicle kill, so he got credit for a Staghound kill, it seems, which is fairly comical. Run away, Vet 2 squad. Vet 2, yeah, he's gonna get out of there. And yep, this is kind of opposing fronts for you. Chilling on one side, British throwing units at Panzer Elite throwing units at the British, Hetzer running at the Staghound, going to try to kill it. Not really much on the field right now that can fight against the Hetzer. Piet's pretty good. Might see a Firefly. I'd be surprised if he wasn't building a Firefly right now. He might be building a Cromwell, but I mean, if he just keeps spamming Staghounds, I'm going to be slightly disappointed. Staghounds are not what he needs at this point in the game. We need something a little bit more robust, something like a Cromwell. Cromwells, I mean, I don't know. In my opinion, Cromwells would be a far more useful choice at this point in the game than just spamming Staghound. Is he going to get this Staghound? No, damage engine. Finish it off, run. Is he going to? He's going to. Come on, do it. Main gun destroyed. Oh my goodness. One more shot. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. There we go, out of control. So long to the Staghound. And what popped out? What popped out? What is this? Firefly, yay. I was right for a change. Firefly on the field. Firefly going to be able to fight the Hetzer extremely well. Maybe we'll see a Jagdpanzer. That would be totally awesome. Jagdpanther? Jagdpanzer? Panther? Jagdpanther. Jagdtiger. No. I completely forget what it's called. That is so pathetic. Whatever, we'll find out. Hopefully he'll get enough CPs for me to see it on here and see how wrong I was. Firefly on the top right now. Interesting thing to note, the British player did get the Staghound. Staghound means no Cromwell command tank, and Cromwell command tanks kind of really good with Fireflies. I don't know if it's Vet. I don't even think you need Vet. You get a ridiculous range bonus from the Firefly, or from the Cromwell command tank for the Firefly, and you get crazy penetration bonuses. I think that's with them, but it might just be whenever. You get crazy penetration bonuses. You can actually penetrate taggers from the front like pretty much every single time, which is kind of insane when you think an AT gun, an American AT gun can't even do that. No American tanks can do that. The Firefly, which was a fairly terrible tank in real life, is totally awesome in Company of Heroes. Just goes to show you that who cares about real life, because video games are so much more entertaining. I'm kidding. Go outside. It's good for you. All that fun stuff. Anyways, mortar barrage on the Firefly. I don't really know what that was about. I don't think Fireflies get the unlucky criticals that, oh my goodness, artillery. I completely missed that. Nice. Fine. Okay. Pets are going to back up. sztefenfu just trying to push up on the right-hand side. sztefenfu doesn't really have that much. I don't really know what has been going on, but he's been losing manpower. He's been bleeding manpower all game. I mean, Kot doesn't really have much in the way of units either. Please! No, he's upgrading MP44s. Oh my goodness, pick up the Shrek. Why isn't anyone picking up the Shrek? Drop commandos and pick up the Shrek. Trying to decap. I don't know why he's trying to decap this forward HQ. It's not really doing anything at this point in the game. Of course, very smart. Kot is going to throw the... turn. Oh man. Is he actually going to kill? No, he's not going to kill the squad. He did throw the Panzer Grenadiers in the forward HQ just to make sure the British player sztefenfu could not decap it. Once you throw a building in there, the cap is cancelled. So that was a smart play by Kot. And Kot really, I don't see sztefenfu doing much to break this contain on the right-hand side right here. Whereas the game before, sztefenfu was defensive, but sort of aggressively defensive. In this case, he has been on the back foot the entirety of the time. He's been trying to push into the Panzer Elite player Kot's territory. He hasn't really been able to do much with it, however. He's been losing a ton of manpower, lost a lot of Staghounds. Staghound corpses, 1. I think that's part of a dead Staghound, 2. What, 3, 4? I mean, at least 4 dead Staghounds, probably more. And that's kind of ridiculous when you think about the resources that those 4 Staghounds could have gone towards. sztefenfu just now trying to regroup. Still has his officer in a trench, because why not? Just hang out. Has another Staghound. Oh my goodness, I need to stop yawning. Man, oh man, that's what I get for getting 6 hours of sleep and then trying to go to baseball practice. Anyways, oh yes, these will probably be my last casts in about 2 weeks. I am going to California for 12 days to play baseball against various good and not so good American universities. So maybe we'll win. Hopefully we'll win. Hopefully I won't die and come back with a black eye and 3 less teeth because I got hit in the face. But I'm not keeping my fingers. I'm not holding my breath. Anyways, back to the game. Nothing is going on. Yay. What is new? See, this is why people don't like opposing fronts. This is why people like vanilla. Because, of course, people don't like vanilla because games like this never happen. Because the game that I just casted before never happened, which was arguably less entertaining than this. I mean, you know, we're talking degrees of entertainment here. I mean, finally a little bit of aggression on the left-hand side. Oh, artillery coming down. Commando already not really going to do much to the Hetzer. Hetzer actually with 2 levels of defensive vet right now. That is something that changed in the beta. In retail right now, for some weird, unexplainable reason, the Jagdpanther, I'm going to call it the Jagdpanther until I'm proven wrong, because I think that's what it's called, and the Hetzer have ridiculous vet requirements. It's something insanely high that you could never ever get, or if you do get, it's like vet 1, and then that's all you have the entirety of the game, and they fixed that. So I think this is the first vet 2 Hetzer I have ever seen. I don't know why Kot got this martyr. maybe to fight the Firefly, but the Firefly is probably going to be better against the Martyr than the Martyr will be against the Firefly. I mean, the best counter to the Firefly is probably the Shrek squads. And this Shrek that's just chilling right here. The unwanted Shrek. Just like, no, it's me. Nobody loves me. He's just kind of hanging out there. Honestly, nobody wants to pick this up. This is so strange. I've never seen this before. Like, drop... Oh my goodness, drop commandos. I think he has commandos. Actually, I'm going to check that right now. sztefenfu. No, he went artillery. Wow, I'm an idiot. He went artillery doctrine, which is weird and, in my opinion, kind of stupid. Is he waiting for a priest? That would be hilarious. I've never seen a priest in a high-level game. Yes, he is. There's the priest right there. Huh. This could potentially, I mean, this is very, very circumstantial. It could work. It probably won't. Wow. Huh. Well, that one shell just killed a Shrek squad. That was very, very interesting. But the Hetzer's like, oh, you have a bad tank or a mobile artillery piece. I want to kill that. And he's probably not going to be able to because there's a lot of infantry right here. And the Firefly's coming in. Oh no, this Martyr is going to get buttoned and get hosed from long range. The Piet going to hopefully do something. The Staghound going to try to get a few extra hits, and yeah, that Martyr's dead. It's kind of a misstep by Cot right there. A little bit of micro should not have sent that Martyr in. I think he honestly just right-click attacked on the Priest and then completely forgot about the Martyr. Ended up moving a little bit too close to the enemy. Good incendiary shell right there. Mortar doing a lot of damage. Oh my goodness. 7 infantry kills right now, and the MP44 is going to come and clean everything up. Great, great play right there by Cot. Good synergy, good unit mixture right there. Hetzer probably going to move out, try to get a bit more shots in on this Firefly. Priest is, however, firing again. What's he firing at? Did I miss something? No, I think he's firing at absolutely nothing. Well, that was a waste of a artillery barrage. That sucks. But Cot, through all of this, has retained control of the right-hand side VPs. Excellent use of his infantry. He did, I believe, yep, rebuilt this. No! Pick up the Shrek. Ah, the Shrek, look at it, doesn't even get hit by artillery. It's like the co-gods love him, but no one can pick him up. I'm really surprised the Brit, that sztefenfu, hasn't picked that up. I'd love to see a lieutenant just pick it up. Lieutenant running around with the Shrek is always comedy gold. But G43s, because G43s are actually fairly powerful. They changed the suppressive volley ability. It used to slow units for 20 seconds, and it would slow them even on retreat, which sucked because you could just slow a sniper, and then you could like run it down with the infantry, and the infantry would be faster than it because that's just how it works. Ooh, Vet 3! Ooh, yay, I've never seen Vet 3. That's so awesome. He hasn't. Come on! Let me see the Jagdpanther. Anyways. Yeah, G43s, they changed the suppressive volley ability. Instead of just slowing for the 20 seconds, it slows for, oh, artillery, I'm not looking at it. It slows for 5 seconds, and then it suppresses extremely quickly. I played a game against Mora, the Relic developer in charge of working on the beta, and he like absolutely, oh yay, Jagdpanther, there we go, Jagdpanther, yay Jagdpanther, you're so cool. He actually completely destroyed me with suppressive volley. It was slightly incredible just because it pretty much instantly suppresses, and in about like 3 seconds it pins. So you have a rifle squad in like green cover or something, pop suppressive volley, bam, like instant. No weight whatsoever, whereas the rifle squad suppression kind of takes a little bit longer. Ooh, if this artillery hits that teller, that would be absolutely hilarious. Hetzer with Vet 3, that's kind of awesome. Lots of Vet. Oh, Staghound dies. And yeah, this Jagdpanther, just gonna, ooh, misfires? No, just gonna hunt down. Wow, lots of damage. Probably gonna take that out in 3 shots. Just kill the Priest because 2 shots, 1 more. And goodbye, Priest. That's why nobody goes artillery artillery regiments, because it's fairly terrible. And I think they nerfed the, or they buffed the health of the 25 pounder, the Brit artillery piece. I mean, it doesn't really... Alright, and after some technical difficulties, we are back. I actually did run out of space on my hard drive, and I was talking about the 25 pounder, I believe, but I'm not going to talk about that anymore because I completely forget what I was going to say. Artillery falling near the Egg Panther, but it's not really going to do anything. Yeah, this is pretty much going to be GG. Last retreat is my estimation for sztefenfu, and it's actually interesting to see how PE players are doing in this tournament. They're actually doing fairly well in the few games that I have watched. It's my prediction actually that a PE player is probably going to go to the finals, if not win the entirety of the tournament. In fact, vCoH, of course, a very good PE player. Also, Siberian Platoon, which is Cefa's favorite to win the tournament. He actually knocked out Cefa. He is also a very good Panzer Elite player. The thing with Panzer Elite is kind of the same thing that happened with PE against Americans after 2.301. In 2.301, PE extremely overpowered. Americans pretty tough. So American players got extremely good at beating Panzer Elite in their overpowered state, and when PE got nerfed, PE players just found it incredibly difficult just because the American players were just so good at countering the type of playstyle that had made PE so incredibly powerful in the previous patch. Likewise, in the retail beta, we see a pretty strong difference from retail, where in retail, Panzer Elite players are getting pretty good at, good Panzer Elite players are getting good at beating very good American players who also have the benefit of playing with a slightly powerful faction. I wouldn't say it's ridiculously imbalanced, but Americans definitely have it easy. Lots of trenches here, probably just going to throw some... Yep, deletes them because of the incendiary grenades. Gonna have to delete this one as well. It really seems like the opposite is going to happen after this patch, just because PE players getting really good at beating the American playstyle. American players going to have to adapt a little bit, especially because PE is going to have a lot of new toys at their disposal. Going to be able to do a lot more strategies. Going to be far less limited in what they are going to have to do, what they're going to have to tech to, and it should be interesting. I'm curious to see exactly how the metagame shifts in the US versus PE, and even in the Brit versus PE regard. But yeah, in terms of this game, it's fairly over. vCoH just driving in the tanks, trying to crush some infantry. VP's ticking down. vCoH, I don't think I said this before my game crapped out, but vCoH is going to have faction choice for the last game, has more VPs at the end of this victory than sztefenfu did at the end of his victory, and the GG well played coming out from sztefenfu. Good little bit of manners. Hopefully game 3 is a little bit better and a little bit less passive than these two. I will see you guys then.